When it's hot outside, nothing beats a nice long yawn, especially if you're a hippopotamus. But have you ever wondered why they do it? I mean, sure, we all yawn when we're sleepy, right? Well, not exactly. There's more to yawning than just that. With hippos, there are some major benefits to those big yawns. It is time for another episode of Animal Logic. Yawning is one of those behaviors that we do and really need to study in the wild to know is related to sleepiness. After all, we humans yawn a lot when we're tired. And because yawning is contagious, scientists think that this behavior might actually be linked to our empathetic and social nature. Seeing someone else yawn makes us want to yawn too, even though we know it's not the best way to spread germs. But for some animals, yawning can be an essential part of their daily routine. It's like for hippos, whose yawns can be over a foot wide, that's wider than my head. And while we might yawn to get some fresh air, a hippo's yawn is more about getting oxygen. Hippos spend most of their days in the water, where they can't get much air. So they mostly breathe through their skin, which has lots of blood vessels close to the surface. That helps them absorb oxygen from the water around them. But there's a limit to how much oxygen can dissolve in water. And as temperatures rise, less oxygen can dissolve. In other words, it gets harder for aquatic animals to breathe as the temperature increases. And hippos are extra sensitive to changes in dissolved oxygen levels because they have such high metabolisms. They need lots of oxygen. As adults, they can't really regulate their body temperature either. So they spend a lot of energy trying to stay cool, which means they need even more oxygen. So when it's hot out, hippos need a way to get more oxygen into their bodies. And that's where yawning comes in. Just like us, hippos yawn to take a big gulp of air. But their yawns are so wide that they actually increase the surface area of their mouths, allowing them to take in way more air than if they just had a regular yawn. Basically, it's like a big gulp of air with a side of giant tongue-stretching exercise. The more surface area of their mouth, the more oxygen they can grab. So while we might yawn 10 to 20 times an hour, hippos can do up to 400 yawns per hour during the day. No wonder they prefer to hang out in the water during the hottest parts of the day, conserving their energy and taking little oxygen breaks in between. And while a hippo's yawn might look like an open mouth, it's technically more of a stretch yawn, meaning they never actually let their lips curl back to expose their teeth. This is different from the gaping yawn that we do, which is more common among land mammals. To be honest, yawning in general doesn't really preserve in the fossil record. So scientists are still trying to figure out how and why yawning evolved. But it seems likely that the behavior arose independently in different groups of animals. For example, birds don't yawn at all. It just doesn't seem to be a part of their evolutionary history. Meanwhile, yawning has been observed in over 50 species of mammals so far, including primates, carnivores, and herbivores, and everywhere in between. And based on the evidence, scientists think yawning might have actually been a critical adaptation that allowed early mammals to become active during the day. Mammals that yawned were able to take in more air, which helped them get more energy, which allowed them to explore and forage during the day instead of being nocturnal. In other words, without yawning, we might not have ended up with such a rich diversity of mammals today. So next time you feel a yawn coming on, make sure to indulge. You'll be helping advance the cause of mammalian evolution. Speaking of yawning, I think I need a coffee. Thanks for watching. See you next time.